welcome back to Decimos, and my name is Peyton Johnson. Today we'll be answering the question, how do I study? First of all, I study in many different ways. So for history, I'm going to study more with Quizlet, or I'm going to use the Feynman technique and talk about it, or I'll make a personal slideshow, something like that. If I am studying math, I'll do some more practice problems, or I'll make a review sheet. And then for science, it kind of varies. I did bio 2 years ago, and that was a little bit more memorization. So I did more Quizlets and review sheets with those. But for this year chem, I did more practice problems, and I even annotated on my previous tests, which helped a lot to be able to recognize the bare bones values and stuff. And then for English usually you have more assignments than you have actual tests to study for. So I would say keep on those assignments so that if you do get a test, you're very prepared for it. And read summaries that are online for a better digestion of the chapter itself. Now, step one, you want to prioritize what you're going to study for. So you do this 3 different ways. You need to figure out a schedule. This is why I have this whiteboard here. I figure out a schedule for when all my tests are, so I know if I'm studying for a test that's tomorrow or one that's a little bit more farther down the road. Also figure out the weight of the quiz, right? So you need to figure out if there's a chem test and a Spanish test the next day, does the chem test weigh more than the Spanish quiz? That type of stuff. So I'm going to prioritize the chem test over the Spanish quiz. And then figure out how much time you need to dedicate. So in that same example, I'm a little bit better at Spanish than I am at chem. So I'm going to dedicate more time to the chem because I'm okay with Spanish. Now, step 2, for the actual study methods. First, blurting is really great if you need to figure out something quick, easy, and fast. So basically what you're going to do for that, you're going to divide your paper up into 2 sides. On one side, you're going to write down everything you remember already, everything that you've kind of learned from the lesson. And then going back, you're going to go to the actual lesson slideshow or the book that you're studying from, and you're going to write everything that you may have missed. Now, this helps you identify what you already know and what you need to study and focus more on, which helps you if you need to study really, really fast. You should, for those of you that are visual learners, a review sheet or a mind map works best, in my opinion. Any test, you can do this really fast, really, really quick, bare bones, or you can take more time and be thoughtful with it. So this is kind of a versatile study method, and it's really, really great because you can always whip it out before the test, study, look over the bare bones ideas, and there you go, you're good to go. My favorite is the Feynman technique for history, because you're basically taking your class slideshows or your mind map or your review sheet, and you're going to teach and talk about it as if you are teaching it to somebody else. Now, this helps you organize your thoughts, and for you AP test takers out there, this is really great for FRQ questions because it helps you formulate your thoughts really easily and figure out what you're trying to say. Also for the Cornell notes, this is what I did for bio because science is kind of one of my harder subjects for myself. So I split up my paper into general notes, questions, and summaries. This helped me study for tests because the summary area, I could just read it over really quick for my tests and figure out what questions I needed to ask the teacher. There are other ways to study, but in my opinion, these are the best ways for me to study. Quizlet's great and memorization is fine for those types of things, but I find that these are a little bit more effective if you need to retain the knowledge. Step 3, last and finally, time management. So you're going to allot time for different things, right? So personally, I don't take a lot of time when I study just for the classes that I had this year. I took 1 to 2 hours of studying. You can study really, really fast by like doing the blurting method or looking over your tests and annotating them if that helps you and if you understand the subject. But for me, if I need to study more for tests or exams, I'll study a couple days before. I'll pass the study at first like friends or with memorization, and then I'll get a little bit more serious with the study methods that I already talked about. If you are doing a more intensive study session, I definitely recommend the Pomodoro technique. That one's really, really great. It basically separates your study time into increments with breaks. So if you are studying for 30 minutes, then it'll give you like a 15-minute break or something like that. And there's great timers out there that you can find. Remember to take a lot of breaks and exercise before to clear your head. I'm a rower, so whenever I come home from school, I row first, and then I'll go and do homework, and it helps me clear my head, figure out the things a little bit better. Yeah. So some of these methods do not work for everyone. That's a disclaimer. In my personal experience, those work, but in general, make sure that you're taking a lot of breaks and you're studying purposefully and you know what you want to target when you're studying so that you're not wasting a lot of time trying to memorize facts when you could be studying a lot more effectively. Yeah, let me know if these works and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for coming to Decimos and listening to me today.